على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد. وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين الروح وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمين. السلام عليكم. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم في مصابنا بأمير المؤمنين. I ask Allah to help me to talk today. I usually feel very humbled and anxious when I talk to you, especially after a very excellent speakers. This will be a continuation of yesterday, and I will start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la. The translation for this usually glorify the name of your Lord, the Most High. We want to dig deeper in this concept because inshallah it will help us to explore more about this night, the person of this night, and our relation. Sabbih. When I ask myself, and I ask many people, what is Sabbih? It comes to our mind with means that we dig deep and dive in the beautiful names of Allah. We try to see Allah all around. And it's beautiful, it's very beautiful meaning, and that's why they translate it to glorify. And also it comes to noblement of Allah, to put him in a high state. If we go to the actual meaning, like the Arabic simple meaning of it, it's actually tanzih. Now tanzih, to translate tanzih is dissociating any imperfection, any imperfect thing from Allah. Well, this imperfection is multiplicity. This is what usually when we talk about multiplicity, we think that this is something old. In reality, multiplicity is still alive. When you associate anything and put it as important as God for us, it is multiplicity. Even putting myself, my need, my desire, my will, is multiplicity. So multiplicity is one of them. Or material body, we have some groups of believers, of Muslims, they believe that Allah has a hand, has a leg. This is embodiment, which is totally wrong. It has nothing to do. Even when Allah in the Quran mentioned these things, He mentioned it to simplify the understanding for us, not to portray Himself as having a hand. Or bad actions. Some of the Muslims, they believe that because Allah can do anything, so even He can do an injustice. Some of the groups, they believe injustice is part of Asma Allah Husna, which is wrong, totally wrong. It's not acceptable, it's not part of the Muslims' belief. Or they may think that there is a knowledge limitation. Allah doesn't know what we will do in the future. All if He knows, He puts some pressure on us to apply it, which is also wrong. And then ability, whether He's able to do things for me. Even if I don't say it, I may feel it. All this is an imperfection that we put in our understanding to Allah, and Allah asking us in Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la. Sabbih, tanzih, dissociate Him. Put Him high in your heart and your mind, because that's where He is, whether we accept or not. He is there. So either we can follow this or we can't. Inshallah we can. Now it's very simple. If I ask anybody, what's your name? They will tell me their name. Why is it important for me to know the name of anybody? What happens if I don't know the name? Well, for example, what's your name? Ihab, mashallah, very nice name. If Ihab doesn't tell me that he is Ihab, he does not connect in my mind. Now I know he is Ihab. When somebody talks about Ihab, I know him. So the name is a connection of my brain to something. It's the way, it's the guide of my brain to reach something. So this is Ism. When I call somebody, I call by name. It's for me is an identifier. I can identify you. This place is Masjid Ahl Bayt. This is identified in my brain. I have lots of names in my mind, and all of them, once they get mentioned, my brain directly identifies them. So it is a guide to my brain to reach to that particular thing. Do all names indicate the reality? For example, this is a very stingy man. He doesn't want to give any donation. So Sayyid Hassan would not like him at all. But subhanAllah, when he was born, his father called him Kareem, generous. You identify him as Kareem. Is he Kareem? No, he's not. He's not generous. So the name sometimes does not indicate the trait. There's a difference between trait and names. While for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all his names are a reality. When I say Kareem, Allah is generous. When I say Jabbar, he is might. When I say, and that's the beauty, like, you know, especially in Ramadan, we have Dua al-Sahar, Dua al-Baha. It's also all full with names. And inshallah, today you have 100 names in Dua al-Jawshan. Feel it. All of them are a reality. When we mention one of the names today in Dua al-Jawshan, talk to that name. Put it in your heart. When he say Habib, talk to him. When he say Tabib, ask him to help you. Because it's a reality. Live with it, live with him. Then Sabbih Isma Rabbika. Rabb can, also our understanding of Rabb, it could be, I mean, translation is Lord. But also it comes, you know, Rabb al-Aila, the Rabb of family is the carer of the family. Or it's the guardian of the family. We need to understand it in all these meanings because it's beautiful for us to connect with subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the interesting thing, subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse in this ayah put Kaf, Rabbi Ken. Is he talking about me? Is he talking about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Both understanding has beauty. If we think about specificity to the Prophet, it will bring it to a different level of understanding. And then Al-A'la, he's the most high of everything. Of anything you think of, he's higher. Are we talking about the Ism or Allah? Think about it. Sabbih, dissociate, Ism, the name of your Lord or carer or guardian, who is the highest. Well, we know that Allah is the highest, but Allah wants to teach us something. His name is the highest. And we said the name is the guide. And even higher than me. And that's the most difficult part of it. When it comes to me, when I have a desire and Allah told me not to do, who is more important? When I have a need and Allah told me, probably I'm not going to give it to you, who is more important? That's where the dissociation of anything comes to a real challenge. Am I going to be able to remove me? So let's put everything together now. Sabbah means purify or dissociate. Is the guide, which belong to your Lord, the Most High. Think about it. I want to purify the guide. Do I have a disturbed guide? Do I believe in a disturbed guide? Or do I see lots of guides around me? It's really important. This will bring a few discussion points. So the first one is dissociate who? The name or the Lord? I think it's the name. Because I'm not me, I think. The Mufassirin say it's the name. It's not. Allah there is no one with Allah. But with the name, we may get mistaken things with it. So we connect with Allah by what? By His names. Allah said, وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءِ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. And to Allah belong the best names. Allah يقول يا ماكو؟ لا.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
صلوا على محمد.
صل على محمد وآل محمد.
تريدون أرجع؟ Dissociate. Dissociate whom? So, are we dissociating his name or him? There is no, for Allah, he's always not associated. So actually what we have a problem in our mind is how we reach him. And sometimes we have this mix up in our mind of how to reach him. So dissociate his guide, his name. We connect with Allah with names. Allah said in the Quran, and to Allah belong the best names. So invoke him by them. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءِ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا وَذَرُوا الَّذِينَ يُلْحِدُونَ فِي أَسْمَائِهِ. And leave the company of those who practice deviation concerning his names. How do they deviate the names? It's when I say Rahman and I feel that the Rahmah is coming from somebody who has no Rahmah. There's a problem. When I say he is the owner or he is the Kareem and I expect the Kareem to come, the Karam to come from Muawiyah, there's a problem. I need to dissociate because it's only him. So if I don't dissociate, I will be really mixed up. And that's why we have these problems nowadays. We have people who decided to go in different direction to reach Allah. To the level that they even believe that even if they kill somebody else, they reach Allah. You can see the Dawa'ish, they say Allahu Akbar when they kill. They are confused. Where is the confusion? Because the guide, the name to Allah was not musabbah. They did not do tasbih and dissociation of the name of the guide to reach him. So we need to clarify the guide to Allah because that's the only way we can reach him. Sabbih ismi rabbika al-a'la. Clarify your Lord name means dissociate the guide to your Lord from anything around. Allah is perfect. He will not accept a guide which is not perfect. Allah will not allow, He is part of His mercy, will not give you a guide which is not perfect. If you are a father, and would you give a wrong guide to your child? Or do you, for example, there is a lot of danger around, and you say, oh well, I told him what I should told him, and that's it, up to him. There's no father that does that. And if there is such a father, unfortunately, it's a very bad father. And Allah definitely not that. So, Allah is muqaddas. His way is muqaddas. Allah is perfect. The way to Him is perfect. He would not give you non-perfect. Right, so what happens if we do not clarify the guide? If we accept that Allah gave us the ability to find the guide, choose the guide, or be the guide, well, everything starts to go wrong when people decided they are good enough to be a guide, to be leaders. That's where everything went wrong. And then even nowadays, and that's something help us, Surah Al-A'la is applicable every time. Even nowadays, when you come to something, remember, it's the truth, not who is holding the truth, what we need to look for. That's what Imam Ali taught us. So if anybody thinks that they can be a guide without the perfection from Allah, feel that there is a problem. They are misleading the way to Allah. And that's why we have this confusion. We have a mess. The situation of the Muslims is a mess because many people decided to be guide. They thought the guide, that's the Prophet ﷺ was the guide, and then when he left, he trusted this ummah. Directly the trust came, and they can choose. And they made their choices, and we know what happened. We fight. So, we have lots of fights, we have injustice, and people do injustice, but they believe they are not doing injustice, they are doing injustice because it's serving their I-ness. When people come and see Islam has all this, they have this suspicion. Allah is not just, because He allowed this to happen. And that's where disbelief comes, and that's where the atheism is thriving, because they see injustice around us. this religion is not right, it's not guiding. This is because those who believe that they can challenge the real guide disturb things. Right, which part is for our mind to find and which part is not? When we talk about the guide, I mean Allah does not send you a guide to believe in Him. This is something that you have to work by your mind. Your mind has the ability, this is fitrah. Fitrah has the ability to find that Allah exists. Those who disbelieve, they allow this misguidance to cover them. But what the mind is not able to do is to find Muradullah. Muradullah is what Allah wanted you to reach. Where Allah wants to take you? You believe in Him. Where does He want to take you? He wants to take you close to Him. Is your mind good enough to do it by its own? No. Because, again, the example of a 2-year-old. Does the 2-year-old have the mind to be something functional? No. He needs a guide. We, to Allah, is nothing, right? It's not even 2 years old. We are lucky if we are 2 years old. So we need this guide, and out of His mercy, He sent this guide. Right, so our mind is not sufficient to find a way or to reach it. So out of Allah's love and mercy, He Almighty made it a must to tell us. Actually, He said, if I don't tell you, my religion, my message is not complete. The completion is by telling you, and that's why this verse came. Ya ayyuha rasul, balligh ma unsila ilayka min rabbik. O messenger, announce which has been revealed to you from your Lord, and if you don't, then you have not conveyed His message. The message is not complete without a guide. There should be a guide. And Allah will protect you from the people. Indeed, Allah does not guide the disbelieving people. So, this is not out of, mahsubiyya or I like him so he's with me. No, this is a wajib Allah put on Himself to tell us. And it's us. Wajib on us to follow because we need to reach Him. So the final thing then, Allah confirmed all the good names for Him. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. But that doesn't mean that He doesn't give these names to those who He chose. In actual reality, some of those He chose, they have all the names apart from the names which is quite specific to Allah. They have all the names, and the names of Allah are His abilities. In Dua al-Baha again, Baha, Jamal, Jalal, Al-Azama, all these He gives to those who are chosen. So on the contrary to what some people believe, Allah actually has given them to those people because in order for His governor, if He is the governor of the universe, in order for this to happen, He needs to give this authority to somebody to do it in this world. And this authority is the hukuma al-ilahiyya, the divine government. Now this divine government is there. Whether people want to believe in it or not, it's there. And today we are living the night of this government, the divine government. Whether they accept Ali or not, He is the government. Whether they want to bring Muawiyah or whoever before him or whoever after him, He is the government. Is the governor of the whole universe. And part of His government, He does things not because He like or dislike. They ask Him, you have the ability, why did you not defeat Muawiyah? He said, because I go by asbab, by the cause and effect. It's you who you need to rise, I can help. And that's where the power of this government, the justice of this government. It's not like the governments that nowadays we see. They work by mahsubiyya and everything. No, He doesn't do that. He's just and fair, like Allah. If we believe that Allah is fair, we have to believe that His government is fair. The divine government is fair. So they exist and they rule, whether they have been accepted or not. They have the power and they have the ability. So today, we need to really work hard to have our heart attached to Him and to ask Him to do the shafa'ah. Because the shafa'ah, as we discussed yesterday, is that enzyme that will turn the milk to cheese. Without it, you won't get it. But you have to have the milk. You have to have the first action so He can help you. So Allah, we ask Allah today to help us, to give things to Imam so he can help us, inshallah. While those who prefer to make their own choices and they want to reach Allah by their own, unfortunately, Allah will not help them. For example, if they decided that we are able to choose the Khalifa or to choose the ruler of these days, and then in the hereafter, Allah will ask them, who did you follow? They said, we followed that person. Who told you to follow him? We chose. Oh, so you are the God of yourself. What about you go to your Jannah? My Jannah is for me. You go to your Jannah if you have one, and we don't. So inshallah, today or tonight is the night that we can establish the attachment. And we are all the orphans of Imam. We are all the orphans of Imam Ali that we need him. We need him to help us, and he's there. We just need to make the first step, and he's inshallah with us. Sallu ala Muhammad.